Let's see what's going on, guys. Good evening. This is going to be a quick show. Not going to do a long show here. Just want to make a point that anybody that's following a false doctrine, a lie, a antichrist movement that is speaking blasphemy against the Trinity constantly, and also just teaching racist hatred, they are following a deceiver, a cult. And I'm going to expose one of these cult leaders that I'm sure many of you who are familiar with the self-proclaimed Hebrew Israelite movement are familiar with, and that's Brother Hasad. And you guys know him from Sakari. He was in Sakari for a long time, years. He was under Guerrilla Hebrew. Now him and Deacon have their own camp, Genesis. And yeah, I had some free time today, so I said, I'll stop by his channel to see if he wants to have a conversation, because he's always calling out Christians. He's always challenging Christians to come prove Christianity is true. Let's talk about the Bible. And, he'll defend his self-proclaimed Hebrew Israelite doctrine. Well, I decided to ask him if he was willing to do that today. Unfortunately, though, he's blocked me in the past from StreamYard. So at first, when I came onto his channel, I had to make several YouTube channels just to talk to some of these Hebrew Israelites because they blocked me. So they're the only reason I have 4 names now. But I have 4 names because I realized it's real easy to make another name. And I didn't make another name for years, but I finally realized, hey, I could just make another name and they can't just block me from the comments. But yeah, so I started off coming at him with one of my aliases, which was Tommy Gunn. And I'm just going to show you the video because I asked him to debate, can he prove he's an Israelite? And he literally said, sure, no problem. And the funny part is, the same time he's telling the audience that he would debate me, he literally blocked that Tommy Gunn name from being able to hit the StreamYard link at the top. So anybody that's familiar with StreamYard knows, we put the link in the chat so you can hit it and come up and talk. And he's challenging Christians to hit the link the whole show. So he puts my comment on the screen, and then as he's reading it, he blocks the Tommy Gunn name. So I try to hit the link after, and no go. So I'm going to just show you 3 quick timestamps. You guys, if you want to watch the whole 15 minutes where I was like in the comment section, you could do that afterwards, because I did realize after the fact, after I did my first 2 alias names, that the third, my actual name, Ryan Apologetics 747, it's only blocked on StreamYard on his channel. It's not blocked from the chat for whatever reason. So yeah, just so people know who they're following and the deception these leaders do. This guy had no problem saying a lie right out of his mouth that he would debate me. And he knew it was me because I've asked him this same question many times. And I've asked him on Instagram and just in other comment sections and chat. So once he read this question, he knew it was like a unique question that only I've asked him, really. So he's going to expose the fact that he knew it was me later in the clip. So I'm going to just show you 3 quick clips. This is just going to be a short video. Just for anybody that's following Genesis or Hasad or Deacon, you guys need to know who you're following, because they say something and they don't mean it. They're really not who you think they are, guys. And I just want to show it real quick. So this was his video today. They were doing a review video about some other TikTok Christian versus Debak, an ex-Sakari member who's now, one of the leaders of his own camp, Mighty Men of Gibberin, or Mighty Men of David. It's one of those. I think it's MMOD, Mighty Men of David, or Mighty Men of Gibberin. You could find him on YouTube, I'm sure, if you typed in that. Either one of those. But yeah, he was on the show too with Hasad doing a review video of one of his interactions with a Christian. And of course, they're mocking the Christian. Haha, he's so stupid, blah, blah, blah. All the usual stuff. So let's do a fair use here. And let me make sure my audio is going to be sharing when I share the screen. So let me do it again so the audio is sharing. But I just want people to see that these guys, they ain't who you guys think they are, man. They really aren't. They'll pick on old ladies and grandmas on the street corner, or innocent people in wheelchairs. Literally, I've got a video of Watchmen of Israel picking on a guy in a wheelchair before. But they won't actually do a formal debate with people that know their doctrine and can expose their, misinformation and deceit. So I'm gonna go right to it. It's 4140 is gonna be
text thread. I literally, it's like
4140 is the first timestamp. And like I said, I was in the comments for about 15 minutes total. If you guys want to watch the show and if you know how to watch the comments, I don't know how to do that. But yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna put it here. But trying to get as close to possible. All right, 32. Okay. Here we go. You'll see he's going to post my comment on the screen, and he's going to know it's Ryan Apologetics under an alias because he blocks it immediately, and he knows this question is unique to me. But just watch what he says because, like I said, he's going to claim that he's going to be willing to debate this topic, and then watch how it switches up within the next 15 minutes because he's going to switch it up real fast once he actually thinks he has to follow through with the debate. Let me make this full screen for you guys too. All right. Actually, full screen is making it a little harder for me to hit play. Sorry. Bear with me, guys. All right. Here we go.
Because it says that in there, right?
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to show you where it says that in there. Go ahead.
Revelation 14, verse.
1 second. Hasad, if you know the Bible so well, you should be able to prove you are Israelites according to the Bible. Yet you can't. Let's debate, are you Israelites according to history, prophecy, and Bible? Don't worry about it. I'm going to get back to the point because I know you're about to.
No, go ahead. Do you?
Tommy Gunn, hit me up on any social media platform at Brother Hasad, and let's do it. 100%. You can get the work, no problem. But let's go back to the.
So you guys just heard him say, "Hit me up, no problem. We'll debate that." That's the mission statement him and Deacon say when Deacon and him start every video. We're the Israelites according to Bible, prophecy, and history. And he said, sure, we'll do it 100%, right? He knows it's me, though, so bear that in mind because he's going to expose that he knew that name was me real soon. So that was at 4140. All right, now I'm going to go to the next thing where he blocks me right after. So when I tried to hit the link right after, guys, this is what this is the message StreamYard gave me right after when I tried to hit the link after he said, sure, we'll debate. This is the message I got right after that. So you can do the math on that. I don't know if my screen's not sharing that. Sorry. Let me change how it shows. All right, hold on. Let me share this. All right, yeah, this is the message I got right after I tried to hit the link. As you guys can tell, I have another picture here. Where's the darn tab? This is his Instagram page, but yeah, I just had the picture and then I closed it. Now I can't find it. Hold on. It's just the block message. Anybody that's from, oh, here it is. Yeah, this is the one I got right after he said, hey, sure, let's debate. No problem. Hit me up on Instagram or whatever. I hit the link because I was going to try to just set it up right there on his StreamYard. And so he told the people watching the show, 100%, we will debate. I can prove I'm an Israelite according to the Bible, history, and prophecy. And at the same time, he's telling people he's going to debate me. He blocked the name Tommy Gunn that I used. Okay. That's just to show you the type of character and truthfulness that we're dealing with here. He's literally lying and saying he wants to debate me while he's blocking me at the same time. Let's go to the next timestamp, though. Again, this is going to be a short video, guys, so it's not going to be much longer. All right, 44 is the time, so this is going to be like a little 15 seconds early, but bear with me. Yeah, I gotta put the sound on, so I'm gonna have to play that again. I was a little worried the sound wasn't sharing. Sorry. Bear with me, guys. I could be doing this a little better if I knew how to edit and just pre-record. That would have been the best way to do this, but I'm not the best technological, expert here, so I'm just doing it in easy way that I know how to do it, and it works. So here we go. Let's listen to his response again. This is 2 minutes later. I have to come back on another name because he just blocked Tommy Gunn, as you saw.
Because he already admitted sin is breaking the commandments of God. I'm pointing out in Revelation 14 to 12, the faith part that he's quoting in 1 John is the same thing.
Tony the Tiger says, for the record, everyone, he blocked me right before he responded. Hasad can lie to you guys, not himself. I'm Tommy Gunn. He knows who I am, and he knows he will never debate me that he's an Israelite. I have no idea who you are, and if I've blocked...
See that right there? He says, I have no idea who you are. That's not going to work out for him very well, because I'm going to show you a clip 10 minutes from now where when he sees my name, Ryan Apologetics, he's gonna call me a stalker right now as Tony the Tiger, and he's gonna say, well, if I blocked you, you're probably a stalker. And then when he sees Ryan Apologetics 10 minutes from now, he's gonna slip up and tell on himself and tell him to block and say, see, that's why I called him a stalker. So he just said, I don't have any idea who you are. Let me just bring that back a second, because 10 minutes from now, you're gonna hear him say to Dabak, that's why I called him a stalker, when he sees Ryan Apologetics' name. So he knows who I am right now, and he's literally verbatim lying out of his mouth that he doesn't know who I am. So let me show you guys again when he says, I have no idea who you are, just to show you how these guys will lie like it's nothing. They'll just lie just because they do it whenever it's convenient.
Because he already admitted sin is breaking the commandments of God. I'm pointing out in Revelation 14 to 12, the faith part that he's quoting in 1 John is the same thing.
Tony the Tiger says, for the record, everyone, he blocked me right before he responded. Hasad can lie to you guys, not himself. I'm Tommy Gunn. He knows who I am, and he knows he will never debate me that he's an Israelite. I have no idea who you are, and if I've blocked you, that means you're probably a stalker. And the fact that you're making all these different pages, I don't want to talk to a stalker. If there's any serious person that would like to have a serious conversation, I would love to do so, but not with Tony the Tiger. All right. Let's keep going. Unbelievable.
See, he just said, when he saw Tommy Gunn's message, 100% set it up. I'll debate you. Let's get this work. Blah, blah, blah. 3 minutes later, I say I'm the same guy. I say I'm Tommy Gunn. Now it's, yeah, you're a stalker. I don't want to have a conversation with you. I only want to have a conversation with serious people. When he knows he blocked me, so he blocked me as he's claiming he wants to debate me. Then 3 minutes later, when I come back, he's going to say, I don't have any idea who you are, but he's calling me a stalker, and he's saying, if I blocked you, that's probably why I don't want to have a conversation with you. Now, 10 minutes from now, he already knows it's me, Ryan Apologetics, because we've had these same questions in the past, and he knows I'm the only one who asks them in the way I'm asking them. It's a very particular way I'm phrasing the question. He's going to tell on himself to block, and he's going to be like, see, that's why I called him a stalker 10 minutes from now. What up, Judas? Hold on. Yeah, I got the email, Judah. Hold on. I'll let you on in a second if you want to hang tight. Just give me 10 seconds here. I just want to show this last thing. I'll put the link in the chat.
Things that God said the people who would be chosen do to get eternal life, which is keep the commandments. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Go ahead, Dabak, if you had some.
No, it's somebody named Ryan Apologetics in the chat, man. Go ahead and hit the link, bro.
Listen, Ryan has gotten washed up for years. This is why I said a stalker.
Oh,
see what he just said? See what he just did? How he told on himself? He said, see, that's why I called him a stalker. Ryan's been getting washed up for years. That's why I called him a stalker. So he just said, you just saw him lie and say, I have no idea who you are, Tony the Tiger. And then you just heard him tell on himself because he was lying when he said that. And he said, see, that's why I called him a stalker, because he knew it was me when I said it. Just let me replay that real quick just so people can understand the type of person you're dealing with here.
Things that God said the people who would be chosen do to get eternal life, which is keep the commandments. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Go ahead, Dabak, if you had some.
No. It's somebody named Ryan Apologetics in the chat, man. Go ahead and hit the link, bro.
Listen, Ryan has gotten washed up for years. This is why I said a stalker.
Oh,
He
it's
has
the
been
same
stalking
dude.
Deacon and
That's why I said a stalker. Isn't it funny how when you lie, that shit will come out? Sorry to swear. But isn't it funny when you lie how that comes to the light? 10 minutes earlier, you don't know who I am, but now all of a sudden you know me. You knew it was me, and I'm a stalker, and that's why you called me a stalker. I'll let him give his little excuses here because he's going to say he's been destroying me for years and blah, blah, blah. I've literally been on his channel one time for 10 minutes, and then a few years ago, I tried to have a challenged him to have a show, and that's when he was on Sakari, and he called Gorilla Hebrew to be his leader to really try to defend him, and he sat back and played the passenger role, and I have had two encounters with him like that, and then maybe one other time on a Sakari show for like 5 minutes. So we're talking over 5 years now, like literally 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and then one show with him and Gorilla Hebrew. So this guy's going to just bear false witness again and say he's been crushing me for years and doing all this other stuff, just to lie to his people more.
myself for at least 5 years and be getting roundhouse kicks. We've been trying new dunks on Ryan Apologetics. I'm talking about we're at this. I remember when Jordan shot them free throws with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
So might as well at this point, like, okay, maybe it goes in, maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? Listen, I could show you literally. Matter of fact, I might just for this. Do you guys really want me to debate someone who would do this? If I show his,
You heard that? You heard that? You guys really want me to debate someone that would do this? What? Send you messages, challenge you on Instagram? That's what you're gonna show or claim you could show right now. You guys really want me to debate someone that challenges me to debates and then I ignore them? That's literally this guy's excuse. Let's hear that again. You guys really. You heard it 10 minutes ago, right? When it was Tommy Gunn. Set it up, Tommy Gunn. I'm ready to debate. Let's do it. And he knew it was me. He blocked it immediately, so I couldn't hit the link and start talking. And then he knew it was me when I came back with the Tony the Tiger. And he said, I don't deal with you. You're a stalker. And then when DeBach came on here and asked him, hey, Ryan Apologetics is in the chat. Somebody named Ryan Apologetics. Hasad tells on himself and says, see, that's why I called him a stalker. So he knew the Tony the Tiger was me. Told on himself. But that's again, listen to this funny guy give an excuse on why he doesn't have to prove he's an Israelite according to the Bible, history, and archaeology. Because he's big G's, not the little G's, him and Deacon, and trust me, Deacon's ducked the same debate. So don't get it twisted, everybody who's Deacon and Hasad groupie. Neither of them want to do this debate. And they'll make every excuse in the book. So just hear it from his mouth, though.
On Ryan Apologetics. I'm talking about we're at this. I remember when Jordan shot them free throws with his eyes closed.
Yeah.
So might as well at this point, like, okay, maybe it goes in, maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? Listen, I could show you literally. Matter of fact, I might just for this. Do you guys really want me to debate someone who would do this? If I show his text thread, I literally, it's like, it would take me at least 5 minutes to scroll through all the stuff that he said. And he's been getting completely decimated. On 8-foot rims, Linzel, right? But let's go back to the
Yep. That's it, guys. If you want to look in the chat, if you can see the stream with comments, you can see me, saying I can't hit the link, I'm blocked. And obviously he doesn't unblock me, so I can hit the link. But I just want to show the Tony the Tiger thing one last time. So everybody, let's just go through the order, the whole thing, all over again, real quick as a summary here. I have to come in with an alias name because I didn't know my Ryan Apologetics name wasn't blocked because they had me blocked on StreamYard. But let's start it all over, see what happened here. Because things changed pretty quick within 10 minutes of he'll debate, and then all of a sudden, oh, I can't debate that guy.
Because he says that in there, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, bear in mind, he never was willing to debate Tommy Gunn because he knew Tommy Gunn was me. So the second he said he was going to debate me as Tommy Gunn, he knew it was me, and he blocked that name. So I couldn't hit the link and come on and say, oh, yeah, you're going to debate me? Let's set it up. He knew it was me. So he lied to his people to put on a front like he's willing to debate any Christian, but really he's not, because he knows better, because he knows he can't prove that he's an Israelite. He knows he's teaching lies and he's a racist and he is teaching dogmas and he can't defend them. But let's just watch him say it all himself, because it's better when you watch him tell on himself.
We're going to show you where it says that in there. Go ahead.
Revelation 14, verse.
1 second. Hasad, if you know the Bible so well, you should be able to prove you are Israelites according to the Bible. Yet you can't. Let's debate, are you Israelites according to history, prophecy, and Bible? Don't worry about it. I'm going to get back to the point because I know you're about to.
No, go ahead. Do you?
Tommy Gunn, hit me up on any social media platform at Brother Hasad, and let's do it. 100%. You can get the work, no problem. But let's go back to the okay.
All right. Well, if you guys don't know, I did hit him up on Instagram, and like I said, I hit him up again today after the show, and he's even going to tell on himself and say, look, I got 5 minutes worth of messages. Yeah, he's never responded once to a debate challenge on there. But I just want to show it one last time how he said, I'll do the debate. Then when I come back with the other name, because he blocked Tommy Gunn.
Because he already admitted sin is breaking the commandments of God. I'm pointing out in Revelation 14 to 12, the faith part that he's quoting in 1 John is the same thing.
Tony the Tiger says, for the record, everyone, he blocked me right before he responded.
Look at him play dumb and say, who's Tony the Tiger? When he knows it's me, because 10 minutes from now, as I just showed you guys numerous times, he says, see, Debak, that's why I called him a stalker, because he knew it was Ryan Apologetics. So he's playing dumb, lying to people right now, acting like he doesn't know who Tommy Gunn or Tony the Tiger is, when he knows.
Hasad can lie to you guys, not himself. I'm Tommy Gunn. He knows who I am, and he knows he will never debate me that he's an Israelite. I have no idea who you are, and if I've blocked you, that means you're probably a stalker. And the fact that you're making all these different pages, I don't want to talk to a stalker.
I have no idea who you are, and if I blocked you, that probably means you're a stalker. We all just heard it.
If there's any serious person that would like to have a serious conversation, I would love to do so.
See, now I'm not serious because he realizes, he's digging a hole for himself, saying he would actually do the debate. He just said 100%, had to backtrack. But look, he said you're a stalker, and he just said, I have no idea who you are. Now let's watch what happens 10 minutes later if he knew who I was.
Things that God said the people who would be chosen do to get eternal life, which is keep the commandments. Put a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. Go ahead, Debak, if you had some.
No, it's somebody named Ryan Apologetics in the chat, man. Go ahead and hit the link, bro.
Listen, Ryan has gotten washed up for years. This is why I said a stalker.
Heard that? That's why I said a stalker. See, when you lie, what happens, Hasad, when you lie? That's why I said a stalker. 10 minutes ago, Tony the Tiger, I have no idea who you are. Now, 10 minutes later, dude says, see, Debak, that's why I called him a stalker. Who'd you call a stalker 10 minutes ago? Tony the Tiger. It ain't added up, Hassan. You said you didn't know who Tony the Tiger was. Then 10 minutes later, you see Ryan Apologetics' name. Debak says he's in the chat, and you said, see, that's why I called him a stalker.
Oh,
This is bring it back, man. You lie like that, Hassan. That ain't very righteous right there, my friend.
Go ahead and hit the link, bro.
Listen, Ryan has gotten washed up for years. This is why I said a stalker.
What? That's why I said a stalker. I thought you had no idea who Tony the Tiger was 10 minutes earlier. What happened? Let's see if you had any idea who Tony the Tiger was.
So you should keep the Mosaic Law. Yeah. So what are you talking about, KP? I'm trying to think of a funny acronym for KP. You know what I mean? I can't.
Let me move it forward. So.
Tiger says, for the record, everyone, he blocked me right before he responded. Hasad can lie to you guys, not himself. I'm Tommy Gunn. He knows who I am, and he knows he will never debate me that he's an Israelite. I have no idea who you are, and if I've blocked you...
I have no idea who you are, but then 10 minutes later, he says to the Bach, that's why I called him a stalker. All right, I beat that horse to death. I don't need to do it a fourth or fifth time. You guys see what it is. You know what time it is. Yeah, Judah, I got the email. I was having trouble getting like, you know how they send you a code and then you got to type it in. I have to do it at the same time where I have my phone and my laptop. So I already tried to like do the code so I could be a moderator, but I hadn't gotten my phone and my laptop done yet. I'll do it right after I get done here, bro. I'm still down to do the moderation and stuff. But yeah, you know, you guys look up to these people. Brother Hasad, you know, that's what he calls himself on Instagram. Trust me, I sent him a message doing the challenge like he claimed he wanted with Tommy Gunn. He knew who I was when I was hitting him up as Tommy Gunn. He knew who I was when I was hitting him as Tony the Tiger, because that's the only, you know, question. That question's unique to me. I've asked that question to him hundreds of times, and they've always ducked it. But you know, it's funny how he can lie and say, you know, I don't know who this dude is, and then 10 minutes later tell the same dude to block that he's on the show with, yo, that's why I called him a stalker 10 minutes ago. I thought you didn't have any idea who I was 10 minutes ago. How'd you call me a stalker and knew it was Ryan Apologetics? But that's the type of, you know, games these dudes play, man. And I hope you people that follow Genesis think that Hassan and Deacon aren't afraid of Christians and will actually take debates on proving they're Israelites. I hope you guys see through the nonsense, and I hope it's clear. You can watch the full 15 minutes, and if you want, you can see. I don't know how people see comments on YouTube, but if you can see the comments on YouTube, you can see, you know, me in the chat asking to have a link because they block all my names, but you know, they won't give me the link, obviously, because he doesn't want me to come up and start talking either. But, you know, it's all good. It ain't personal. I just, like I said, man, I don't like the dude lying. I don't like him acting like he's going to destroy every Christian on earth, because that's what he says. And I'm not trying to be a bully, but these guys, these Genesis dudes, they make me sick. You've seen the title of the video today. They're just trying to, like, you know, embarrass some young kid who's on TikTok trying to spread the gospel, trying to make their doctrine look like it's better, and say Christianity is a lie. But they asked for Christians to hit the link, but for some reason I can't hit the link. I've only been allowed to hit the link for 10 minutes on Hasad's show and Deacon show. But yeah, Deacon, he's the same way, guys. So don't think Deacon's different than Hasad in this topic. Deacon ain't going to take that debate either. And you know, every video that he does, anybody that's watched Genesis Deacon's channel, you know, you'll see he starts the video when he's teaching on the street corners every Sabbath. We're the Israelites according to the Bible, prophecy, and history. That's the exact title I asked Hasad to give me, right? I said, just debate me on that. Debate me on you're the Israelites according to Bible, history, and archaeology. Bible, prophecy, and history, because that's what Deacon says every show. And that's all I asked him to debate me on. So, you know, I don't know what the problem is, man. You know, Hasad out of his own mouth claimed 100%. Let's do it. I don't know what changed within 10 minutes. I mean, I guess when you're blocking somebody as you claim you're willing to debate them, it's kind of a tell that you don't really want to debate them. But, you know, it is what it is, guys. And I'm really just doing this to show you guys these dudes aren't real leaders. They're fake. They're two-faced. They ain't truthful. They'll lie out of their own mouth. As they're telling you they're willing to do something, they're lying because they know they don't want to do it. He says he doesn't know. Dude, I can't imagine acting like I don't know who a person is just to duck a debate. Like, oh, I never heard of you, man. Who are you? Just to duck a debate with somebody, bro? Like, that's really weak. That's beyond weak, man. Be like, oh, I Tony the Tiger, I never heard of you. Then 10 minutes later, debak. That's why I called him a stalker. He's been doing this for years. Like, you knew who it was, bro. You told on yourself. You told on yourself. Menace to society moment right there, man. Menace to society right there. Everybody knows. You whatever, right? You know you messed up, right? Menace to society moment right there. Telling on yourself. But yeah, man, I wish Deacon and Hasad weren't, you know, so fake. I wish they were, you know, really trying to talk to Christians like they claim, because I'd love to have conversations with them. And, you know, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame, you know? You said you wanted to do this title 100%, Hasad. Everybody heard it. Then within 3 minutes, it was, oh, I only want to have this conversation with serious people. You said hit you up on Instagram and set it up. Well, I sent you a message on Instagram, and you even told on yourself and said I sent many messages to you on Instagram in the past trying to debate you. You haven't responded to one, and it's the same title. You just claimed you're willing to debate. So why is it a problem that I'm your opponent? Do you just want some random grandma on the street corner instead of me? Is that what it is? You want a grandma? You want somebody in a wheelchair that can't speak because they had medical issue? You know, I don't know, man. The tape's on his channel too, guys. He ain't deleted yet, but now it's saved on my channel until I get real merciful and say I'll erase it.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, what up, man? Nice to meet you. What's your doctrine, or what do you identify as? A Christian, Hebrew Israelite? Where do you identify?
So I was baptized Catholic, but I kind of I study with the witnesses. I've been studying for like 4 years. So I'm kind of like fence walker, when it
I
comes
don't know exactly what. When you say witnesses, I'm assuming Jehovah Witnesses.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know all the terminology about them, fence walker and all that stuff. I'm not familiar, so
Well, you know what a fence walker is, right? So
no, that's what I mean. What is
I
that?
I haven't committed and I haven't been baptized. So I mean, I was baptized as a Catholic as a child because that's what everyone does, but kind of hated God for a very long time and started studying the Bible and applied it to my life, and it seems to work. But I just want to point out: are you talking about like Black Israelites? I just stumbled upon this channel, so I was like, "Oh man, like this is an awesome topic."
Well, honestly, dude, I'm not trying to do a long video right now. I'm talking about the Camp Genesis. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. It's run by this guy Deacon and Hasad. But yeah, I just put the link in the chat for a few of my friends that I'm familiar with. So no disrespect to you, but you're welcome to hit the link in the future. But I just don't want to start talking about other topics because I was really about to end this video right after basically a few words here.
Okay, so do you go live a lot?
Yeah. I pin the link every show, and I'd love to talk to you further, especially considering where you said you're at with your faith right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely sub up. I didn't know. Again, I just jumped on because you had a stream. Most people don't do that, so it's an interesting topic. So yeah, I'll sub up. Thanks for having me up. And
this is the exception. Honestly, it's your timing's just not good for whatever reason. This is the exception. 99% of my streams, if you hit the link, you can stay up here, the whole time for 8 hours. But I'm just about to end it. That's the only reason.
I totally understand. Thank you for having me on, man.
I'll come back some other time, God willing. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, man. All right. Peace. All right. So you guys seen it. I ain't trying to bully people. I ain't trying to go at anybody. But I just wanted evidence to be out there that these dudes say they'll destroy Christianity. They say they'll debate any Christian on the planet. They say their doctrine's, perfect, that nobody can, disprove what they teach. Yet the second you step to them and you say, okay, let's do it. Let's get in the ring. Let's prove it. Let's start from square one. Let's start on the foundation of your doctrine, your mission statement. You are the Israelites according to Bible, prophecy, and history. Watch a Deacon video. That's the first thing he's going to say every time he's on the street corner. We are the Israelites according to that. Let me just show people real quick what Deacon does every video. How I'm not making this up. I'm sure anybody familiar with him knows this. But just in case you're not familiar with the dude, let me show you that this isn't something I'm saying, out of the blue, man. This is something he claims, It's like if somebody's claiming a gang or something, and then you go up to them and then all of a sudden they don't claim that gang. We already know, how that goes over. But it's just like anything. Somebody claims they're a CEO of a business, then all of a sudden you want to buy a product and they don't have any, or they don't have a business card, or, it can apply to a million different things in life. I'm not trying to make it a gang thing or whatever. That was just the first example in my head of like people saying like, where are you from? And then people back out from, their gang because they don't want to get in a fight or whatever. But, all right, let me try to find one of his weekly, they don't want smoke. These titles are all lies. They only want smoke if they can find you, inept and manipulate you. They don't want smoke with anybody that knows it. As you just saw, Hasad didn't want any smoke. But maybe it's not this channel. Maybe he's got a bunch of channels. Maybe he's on the let me go to Genesis Israelite channel. I don't want Texas though. I want anyways, dude, I don't really care. Everybody that knows Deacon knows what he says. They know he gets on the corner and he says we're the Israelites according to the Bible, prophecy, and history. So if he's really about that, that should be the easiest debate title he's ever gotten in his life. You know what I mean? That should be the easiest one. That should be an embarrassing thing for me to try to disprove, because he must be positive in that, because he dedicates his whole life to that, and then he teaches people that doctrine. So I saw it up in the chat. What was it again? Something about the English Bible. There was a few comments up. Hold on, let me try to find it. Okay. I'd love to run a debate with someone formidable on the topic of, was the English Bible constructed with or without the oral tradition? That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I mean, we'd have to sort through it before a debate, because I don't even know if I agree or disagree with you about that, because it's all dependent upon what you mean by what you're saying as far as the oral tradition. Because if you believe the Bible was like put together in Babylon, then the oral tradition obviously was paramount, because Moses, died, 1320 BC. So if they're right in Genesis and they got, Deuteronomy and Exodus and all those books that are written by Moses, the oral tradition was obviously what preserved that, if they rewrote all the Bible in Babylon. So yeah, I'd right off the top, I'd probably agree with you more than disagree with you, but I'd have to sort through exactly the specifics on what you're saying. Obviously in the chat, it's hard. You only got 128 characters or whatever to communicate what you're saying. It'd be easier if you were verbally talking about what you meant. But yeah, I mean, when you say oral tradition, I wouldn't think like Talmudic stuff. I wouldn't go in that direction. So I know there's two different versions. Usually when people colloquially, I can never pronounce that word, but the colloquial use of oral tradition usually applies to the Talmud in Judaism. So people think of it like that usually nowadays. But there's definitely an oral tradition of just preserving the ancient Hebrew Bible that we call our canon, the 66 book. Like I said, if it was preserved in the Babylonian captivity by the oral tradition and they rewrote it, then, I agree with you pretty much on that. It's tough. It's tough because we don't know exactly when all these autographs were written. And textual criticism is something I'm very open-minded about. I'm not dogmatic about it. So I'm one of those people that is not going to argue, perfection in certain areas where I don't think perfection exists. Hosea is one of the earliest books. I know that for a fact. Hosea was definitely an earlier. Hey, God bless, Brandon. God bless. Good to see you. God bless. But I don't know. I'd talk to you about it. I can't pronounce your name, obviously, because I can't read Hebrew. So bear with me on that. But yeah. Oh, my boy, Judah Naz. I'm with you on that, Brandon. I'm a work in progress. There he is.
Hey, Shalom, Ryan. Hey, I know you're about to go, so I'm going to go live because I got to work on my PowerPoint today.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick. In the future. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off. My bad.
No, I cut you off. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you were talking. I'm sorry.
Judah, the other day we got a little, I was streaming for 10 hours because I was on, you saw me, I was on Moore's channel. My back was killing me. We were talking. I'm apologize. I interrupted you. If you watched the second time you came back, I did a lot better not interrupting you, because I rewatched the last hour when you came back the second time. The first time you were on before you left, I was interrupting you a lot, and I apologize about that. But it wasn't to try to like cut you off and not allow you to speak. It was just like I was trying to like get my thoughts out too soon, so I apologize.
Well, you don't need to apologize. Just a future reference, Ryan. You don't need to apologize. People learn with me. A lot of times I forget about stuff like that because it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? So don't. It is what it is. Even the Israel Doctrine was on the other day, right? Like I don't even think about that. So during my debate, I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's gonna get turned up, of course, but like, I'm not gonna. I'm focusing on the debate, right? Not the the extra stuff. Anyway, yeah. In the future, whenever you have time, I'm gonna go live today because before I hop off here, I want to go live for like just a little bit to because this is embarrassing, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the they call themselves Black Hebrew Israelites. If the Black Hebrew Israelites, I think they should like just put out a disclaimer and say, hey, look, this is a business. We really don't believe in what we're saying, because if we really believed in it, we wouldn't block people and we wouldn't be worried about losing because we're going to lose our money and blah, blah, blah. So I think they should tell the people, hey, look, the people that follow me, like, like the people follow Genesis and Great Millstone or whatever, and ISUBK, just say, they should tell the people, hey, look, man, this is a business. We really don't believe in what we're telling y'all, because if we did, we wouldn't have we don't pick and choose. The only time I ever pick and choose stuff is if somebody's coming on to ruin a show. Like, there are people like outside the cube who come on the channel to ruin it, right? Because they just want the attention on them, not what's being discussed, right? So I'll like remove them and like, whatever. But when it comes to like serious biblical discussions or debates, like, we don't have to always debate. It can be a discussion. But this like picking and choosing, this is what they do. When I would hit Deacon's channel, they would like mute my mic and kick me off whenever they get trapped. And it's like, bro, if you're not serious about this, at least tell the people, because they really think that you're sincere. So, you know what I mean? They think that you really, they think, what I mean? Like, they say they're preaching the gospel. Well, the people that follow them really believe, No, it's a business for them, because the reason why they won't, because they're afraid of getting trapped up. The people listening to them being like, wait a minute, why am I following these guys when I can just go back to church and I don't have to give these guys my money or blah, 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 blah. I got maybe like a white girlfriend, or like my mom's white, or like my best friend's white, or whatever. And you're telling me to like hate. And I'm joining your group and you're over here ducking and dodging. They're not even just white Christians, Black Christians, whoever's a real Christian. I don't know what a real Christian is. I think someone who professes Christ, in my opinion. I might be wrong. You can correct me. But I know the New Testament, and it says, prove all things. This is what Paul said. So these guys are not doing that. You can't pick and choose. Like, you can't, you find some person that's been a Christian for like 3 weeks, and then you invite them up, and then you beat them up, and you're like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah. That's not, no, bro, we're not doing that. Like, come on, bro. Like, well, I'm not a Black Hebrew Israelite, but I'm like, it's just unfair because they think that we're all together. I'd never made 1 red cent charging anybody anything. My channel's never been monetized voluntarily. I think one day on my old channel, I made like $70. Me and my wife like found it. Like, she was like, you made $70. Like, it was like, my channel's been up for like, I don't know how many years. I'm like, really? But other than that, I've never had my channel monetized. None of that. So I'm going to go live for maybe like an hour or so. I mean, please, I would actually like you to join if you could. I know, just for like an hour to like, I'm going to be like, you guys, like, just tell the people it's a business.
Yeah, you're totally right. Reading between the lines, they're afraid to get embarrassed and then lose customers or lose possible T-shirt sales or whatever it is, tithes. But for me, man, I was torn whether to even do this show. Like, that's where I'm at with this. Like, I hope people realize that. I swear, like, I don't make oaths, because you're not supposed to make oaths according to Christ in the New Testament. But I don't want to make shows like this, really. Like, I really was talking to my friend IUCK before I did this, and I was like, man, should I do it? Is it the right Christian thing to do it or not? And I honestly just like thought about it and kind of prayed on it a little bit. And I thought about all the people that they're like misleading, and I'm like, you know what? Like, it's okay not to do this to everybody who's minding their own business and just practicing faith in God, but for people that are like going at Christianity like they are daily, like they look for Christians like if they're on the street corner and they see a Christian, then it's like, oh yeah, it's like a lion catching a deer. You know what I mean? It's like they want a helpless Christian that they can make a video of, because like you said, they've only been practicing Christianity like loosely. They haven't read their Bible in years, and then they can make a video and they can say, look how dumb Christians are. We know the Bible so well. We're the experts. We're this. But then when somebody who knows their doctrine like me comes around and it says, okay, let's do it. Let's go on Sonetta. Let's go somewhere. Let's do a debate. the fact that they don't even do the debate is one thing, but the fact he's lying and saying he will do the debate when he knows who I am, and then he blocks me in the same time he's saying I'll do the debate, is just next level. Like, all right, I can expose this dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but like you said, though, I mean, listen, 1,000 subs, my channel is not big. Like, and I had my channel for like a year and a half. I had like 10 channels. So YouTube's pretty much got me on like a shadow ban permanently, right? Like you'll see, I have like hundreds of thousands of views, but my subs are 1,000. You know that makes no sense. So there's nothing in you, right? So my channel is not big, but my reputation does get out there, and people do listen to what I say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because I'm not like a leader, but so you know what I mean. So if when you want your voice amplified, my channel is a community channel. Everybody can come over, unless you're just coming over to troll and cause disruption and you know, be a buffoon, which there's a lot of people who do that. But like this, and I get it. Like show us Cosmo, and I get it. Like, you know, I know that you're not very like what's the word? Not offensive, confrontational, right? You're not. I know you stand up for the gospel, but I'm saying you're not like confrontational. Like, I'm going to go live and be like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this is, you guys got to stop. And the people that come to my channel, like Mighty Hebrew, I got love for the brother. You know what I'm saying? I try to help the brother out whenever I can. But coming to my channel, and when I say this, I'm not being racist because it goes for anybody. These guys are like afraid of white people. And I'm not saying that this is like a physical war. I'm saying like they're like afraid of white people still. Well, like, I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it's like
no, it's the Psalms 147 or whatever, like parachute. Like, hey, I'll just quote this. Or, dude, I had another dude in Europe, some arrogant jerk, Yehuda or whatever. I forget what his channel's name is, but he's like quoting Jesus. I don't throw my pearls to pigs and stuff. It's like, dude, that is not an excuse. Like, nobody's dumb enough to think that like is actually proving that you have the truth. Like, if you think you could just go through your whole life and say that to people, then you're just not fooling anybody, because people that can't answer questions, they expose themselves. And debates are like the last resort kind of. But yeah, I wanted to try to peace, Jude. I wanted to see what you and Israel Doctor, what type of time you wanted to be on tomorrow, because I'm not, you guys are both my elder, slightly him more than you, but both my elder. And I'm not going to try to step in and stop grown men from saying what they want language wise. But at the same time, if we're trying to magnify God's truth, which both of you are on both sides of the debate, you guys went crazy in that pre-fight, man. That press conference was like, you know, swearing was off the chain, man. Like, so as the moderator, I want to just have a brief conversation with you guys either today or before the debate, you know, but I don't want to lecture you either. You know what I mean? So I just want you guys both to realize that, like, whoever throws that first blow, it's probably going to set off a bomb, and I don't know, whatever. You hear me out. You get it.
I hear you. Show them Orthodox more. Well, you know, ID, you know how it's always, you always have to walk on eggshells when you're around him. There's just no escaping. You're not going to avoid that's just, we've known him since I got on YouTube. He's always been like this. But and then you can't even call him a Christian. He flips out. If you call him Izzy for short, like some people call me, you know, Judah Naz. What if I flip? My name is Judah Nazareth. Some people call me Judah Nazareth. Judah Nazareth. Yeah. Right? I don't flip out. It's nothing to flip out about. You know what I'm saying? It's like he gets set off over every little thing. So it's like there's no way you're going to avoid this foolishness. Now, again, I'm not focused on cursing and blah blah blah. I'm going to perform. But my job is to debate, and I'm always focused on the target in my debates. All the other stuff is nothing but a distraction. He, of course, is going to do what Israel Doctrine does. I can't help that. That's what he's going to do. Whatever. It's all good. So, but I do understand your point. But it can't be avoided, because this is what you see how he flipped out on the sister. What's her name? The queen of YouTube. The sister's always up on his panel. He's like, F her. F everybody. I mean, so just can't be avoided. There's nothing you can do. He's going to do that. Like, he's not going to listen to you.
Well, yeah. No, sorry.
Nothing you can do.
He's like a dude who's institutionalized. I don't know if he's done a lot of time or what, but he is kind of like, he reminds me of a dude who's like, you know, done some time. And it's just like you said, it's like, you come at him with one. You don't say excuse me if you bump into him, and you know what I mean. It's like he's gonna stab you in the eye with a fork. You know, it's like. But
no, he's
he's
never
cool
done any time.
too, you know?
I'm sorry.
No?
He's never done any
he never
time.
did time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry.
No. We're talking, man. Neither of us are trying to disrespect. Yeah. Well, if he's never done any time, then I understand that's just who he is and where he's from. He said he was from Chicago. You know, he grew up in a tough place. I think he knows swearing something he's got to work on with God, and I'd say that to his face. So I'm not trying to say it behind his back. But he was disciplined on Sonetta yesterday. He went on Sonetta, and Sa don't play that. Like just
what
swear.
he did.
The swear. Yeah, he was on Sonetta just with like 8 people on there, like talking. You know.
Well, oh, do you know what show?
Israel Doctrine. He was.
No, I mean what show on Sonetta? Because I was on there the other day.
I'm not positive the title. It was yesterday. Whatever the title was yesterday, the early show, not the late show with the women, but Saw's early show. Yeah, Israel Doctrine hit the link, but he was doing his best. He was spelling out some swear words at times. He was like, I want to say bitch. He's like, you bitch. Like he was spelling them out. So he knows like he's capable of holding back and stuff, man. And we all got to work on things with God. And I think like he knows that's something that the ultimate righteousness around God. You don't want to be talking like that. So we're all adults, and sometimes a comedian that's swearing's funny. You know what I mean? Like, I get that from your channel where I'm fine. I'm comfortable with like the middle ground, but at the same time, we got to also like stay more on one side of the middle ground. And like you got your guys' press conference the other day, pre debate, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that was too much, And that wasn't
that bad. Come on, Ryan. You guys, come on.
It wasn't that bad.
You guys always say that, but I'm saying I say this, I'm attacking you. But come on, Christian history is pretty violent. So people using words is not as violent as Christian history and Israelite history and Muslim history and Jewish history. So I'm not putting the blame just on Christianity, but come on, man. Like we're talking about people actually lost their lives. Words aren't. Come on,
dude, sorry to interrupt. Don't get me twisted. It's not like it personally hurt me. You know what I mean? It's not like I haven't been around way worse, and it's not like I'm not comfortable in that environment. You know what I mean? I am comfortable in that environment. That's why I stayed up there. I didn't lose sleep over that. But I just, like I said, I think if we're talking basketball, that's one thing. But if we're trying to like magnify God in the debate itself, I think you guys should try to at least keep it a little separate. Throwing a jab here or there, sure, but it just can't be like a rap song the whole time. I don't know. You do whatever you want. That's why I'm saying like I'm not going to tell you guys how to do this. I'm going to be there as the moderator, but if it goes that direction, I'm not going to like time anybody out and say stop doing it either. That's why I was just trying to like see where you were at with it before the debate to see if you guys had some sort of, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm very disciplined in debates. But people, again, like there's a lot of times like I'll give an example like a Jabari from the HOK, IOCK, that's his sister. Professor X is a sister. That's a woman. By the way, but let's say like a Jabari, right? He so like for us, right? There are a lot of people who use like soft speech, but then they're like saying some evil stuff. So I'd rather somebody be like direct and use coarse language and at least be truthful about how they feel as opposed to like using soft speech and being deceptive and wicked. So like Jabari's like, I'm not talking about it personally, but on the panel when he's delivering blah 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 his spiel, he's very condescending. He knows how to put you under a spell by using that. If you've seen that movie Get Out, the lady that was stirring the hypnotist, that's a technique. They speak real quiet and they put you under a form of hypnosis. And they're saying some really wicked stuff, but they're like saying it in a nice way. Like it's kind of like, I'm gonna kill your mother and children. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, I'm gonna kill your mother. Right. I'm gonna slice your daughter's neck. I'm not YouTube. I'm just saying. I'm just using an example that's wicked to say, but you're saying it in a nice way. So but you can't avoid that with Israel Doctrine.
No, I understand. I agree with you. I'd rather have somebody be direct and swear a little than be snake and fake and act all goody or be condescending like Floyd Mayweather. Like at a press conference, like getting Jabari, like you said, no disrespect to Jabari, but he knows and we know what we're talking about. Within debates, he can get condescending. It's kind of like what Zion Lex did with me, like he's not on my level, like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know if you saw, probably not, but I just did a short video yesterday because I was watching a Vocab Malone thing he did with Naphtali.
Oh, yeah. I was here. Remember?
Oh man, that was foul, bro. That was foul. Like he's sitting there acting all quiet and like Christian like and kind and compassionate. And then he edits up a video and he puts in all these gifs and does like a Judah Naz AI like with her like zooming in, and yeah, she said a lot of dumb stuff and I was only 35 minutes in, so she said a lot of dumb things, but don't act like, call her dumb at the time if that's how you feel. Don't act all kind and sweet and patient and Naphtali, sister. You know what I mean? And then do the video with Jim Carrey spitting out his drink and liar, liar when you go home and start edit. That's wicked. That is messed up. And I'm not calling him wicked as a man, but
I saw the video when he dropped it. I didn't think it was that bad. Then I saw her response video. But again, like, I will give Vocab his credit though. I mean, he does pick and he does the same thing. I mean, he might as well just be a black Hebrew Israelite with lighter skin, because he does the same thing. But she does say some off the wall stuff. And then when we have her, she does the same thing too. We say, yo, Naphtali, approve of her. She just like saunters away. And it's kind of like, so like, you don't believe this either? Like, what is up with all these people professing all this stuff that they don't really believe themselves or they aren't willing to defend? So I get it. So, but I mean, I thought it was funny. I mean, Vocab, he does the same thing.
I will say one moment that was pretty crazy to me was when he goes, the Apostle Paul got his head chopped off in the first century by whatever emperor, and she's like, "Yeah, it was a struggle." It was like, it was a struggle. It's like, yo, that's how you describe dude getting his head chopped off. It was a struggle for people. Like, but that's what I mean. Like, I didn't think what she was saying was not incorrect at times. It's just like I didn't like how he was all sweet and kind to her and then mocked her after the fact. Like, I don't know.
Froze up.
There's that old us and there's that new us. You know what I mean? And like, you're either the old or the new. Which one are you trying to be? And we're all in the middle. We're all trying, to be the new. But if you lean into that old, then just beware on Judgment Day. That's where you leaned. You're not that new person. So don't tell God you are. So I'm always fighting the battle. That's why I didn't even know if I was going to make this video, but I was thinking.
But you have to though, Ryan, because there are people out there that don't have the capability to speak. I mean, you have a channel. I mean, you might not think it's a big deal, but not everybody is willing to get up on a panel and show their face and declare their stance and speak out against the folly that goes around. I mean, like, honestly, and just in my opinion, right? I've been saying this for like years. I'm like, you guys, like, Hebrew Israelites, like, Bakwash, you may not agree. Like, yeah, I did a show and I showed the Codex Sinaiticus, which is written in at 300 ADs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bakwash comes over. He's like, that's garbage. That book is garbage. And I'm like, bro, it's like the earliest book of Mark. I'm like, and you're like, you're calling the New Testament garbage. But the KJV 1611 came out 1,500 years later afterwards. But he's like, so to me, I'm like, well, wait a minute, bro. Like, wait, bro. So you're calling the New Testament garbage. Then you tell me I need Jesus. But then you say you don't believe in Jesus. Like, bro, like, what is this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And of course, they're not going to answer you. And I don't know if you saw this. There was a video from a Great Millstone member. I think Vocab put it out or somebody put it out. I don't know if you know this, but Freemasonry is like a Christian Jewish organization at its root. At its root, it's like the Catholic Church and the people, they work together to build this organization called Freemasonry, right? So early One West, their leaders were in this organization. So the heads, the leaders you see, they might be a part of the organization or they learned under the people who were in that, Freemasonry. So when you question them on things, they're just not going to answer you because they're indoctrinated. And I don't know if you know this, I'm not going to get all deep or whatever, but for those who don't know, like, it's because it's made by those people that the people who join that, they have to listen to the people up on top. not the scripture. Even if they talk about the Bible, they're taught to only listen to the leader, not to what the scripture says or what the book says, whether or whatever. That's just how it goes. So if you see like when you debated Zion Lex, when he starts bringing up the rabbis, that religion is basically the religion is on the opinion of those people, the rabbis, not what the book says, what the people say. Nation of Islam, they say they're Muslims, but they don't pick up the Quran and read out of it. They say Elijah Muhammad said. So, but he was one of those too. He was 32nd degree. So all these guys who are in this organization, this is just what you can expect. My thing is like, if you're not gonna, if you profess to be an Israelite, bloodline Israelite, you have to do what the Israelites do, and but they don't. So they have 1 foot in, and then they have 1 foot in Christianity, and then they make a new gospel. And I'm not stupid. I have the. If you see my New Testament, you're going to see it's with notes, just like my Torah and prophets. I have the New Testament with connecting notes. This goes here, this goes that, blah 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 blah. So they can't try to pull the foolishness on me, right? I'm not going to go in like not knowing what I'm talking about. So if you're gonna like have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, it's like, bro, if they're not saying we're here to teach the Torah, so they're saying we're here to preach the gospel. Okay, cool. Then you need to go back into church, right? You need to go to church. If you're gonna teach the gospel is a church thing. It's not an the Israelites, bro. Do you heard what Israel Doctrine said? I don't care what Paul said. They said they were first called Christians in Antioch, right? So your doctrine,
no way, Israel. Sorry to interrupt, but Israel Doctrine didn't say that. No way, he didn't say.
Yeah, you were there.
I don't believe that. I don't.
You were there.
I don't recall. I think I may have heard somebody. He might have been saying it as like for a certain context, like a certain question, like I care more about what Jesus said or so. So yeah. He's a New Testament believer, so I think, I don't want him to jump the gun on that because,
But he
I'm
did.
sure
He said, "I don't care what Paul says." He said, "I don't care what Paul says. This is my doctrine."
Yeah,
and I'm like, bro, and I'm like, wait, like you're not supposed to lean on your own understanding, like what I'm saying, like, bro, you're over here making your own. And that's why he says, "F the public, F this, F that, F this, F that." And it's kind of like, bro, so you just have your own, right? Then look at his name though. Carl Israel Doctrine, not the Christian gospel, not the Israelite Torah. Carl Albert's doctrine. So, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm just saying, like, look, the Hebrew Israelites or Black Hebrew Israelites, whatever foolishness they want to call themselves, bro. If you're going to teach the gospel, you need to get back in church. Stop trying to make money off the people. Stop this foolishness. Like. I'll tell you when the thing about there's somebody. I'm not gonna say any, but I'll tell you off the thing. Somebody basically let me know that One West is a hustle. This is a well-known Hebrew Israelite leader. Like basically told me years ago, like around like 2013, 2014, was like, yo, One West, and he's one of them. He's a leader. He was like, One West is a hustle. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, it's set up to make money off the people that follow them.
Yeah, it's like a pimping system, honestly, bro. Honestly, it's like you get people, oh, I'm the priest, pay tithes, buy T-shirts, come to this feast, $300 for the tickets. You know what I mean? Like the school costs this much. You got to contribute for this, and this. And yeah, I mean, if you watch Guerrilla Hebrews, like rap album, dude named it 322. And I'm sure you might know what that is. That's Skull and Bones numbers, bro. Like Yale, like devil worship and evil nonsense. Like he named his album that. Like, and it's what he did it 223 or whatever. But he reads right to left for the Hebrew because he thinks he reads Hebrew like you do. So he's really naming it 322. You know what I mean? That's Skull and Bones. Like Guerrilla Hebrew didn't hide his shit. You know what I mean? But I mean, whatever. He's not the only one. You know what I mean? But
well, are you in the private chat? Can you see the private chat? Or?
Yeah. Eastern Thomas. We're not going to be streaming much longer. Otherwise, I'd have other people on. So Judah's probably going to go.
Yeah,
word. Yeah, I already
just
figured.
For an hour, I gotta.
But all I'll say lastly is, Judah, I think so far from what I've had conversations with you on, I think the Old Testament only are the most consistent, like sticking to we are the Israelites doctrine, because it's just a more consistent doctrine because the New Testament is through Christ. So, like you said, if you're going to be a New Testament believer, it is the church. It isn't. It isn't a national identity anymore. It's the church. So I at least respect your faith in that you're Old Testament only, but I do want to continue to, God willing, have conversations with you and try to speak to you of where, you know, I think you go way too far on your Christ criticism. Like you've surpassed Tovai Singer in the week I've known you, and I didn't think anybody was going to surpass Tovai Singer in my lifetime.
He's my student. He's the one that was uploading my videos years ago. So when we put out do a show, he's watching, and then he'll do a show on what we talked about. We always, and then sometimes I'll go over there and like correct him, and he doesn't even respond back because he knows. Sometimes he'll put brilliant. He'll respond back like, yeah, you know. So he knows what it is. Whatever. He's a cool dude, but
yeah. But the way I would look at it, if I were you, dude, is just to calm it down a bit, because if you're wrong, you're wrong. But I understand you're trying to honor your faith, so you're considering Christianity idolatry, which leads you to say the things you say. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not afraid to call Islam idolatry either. So I get that. Like, you know what I mean? I get it. If it's a false religion, I could call it evil or idolatry or whatever. But Christianity is so connected to the Bible itself that it's like, I would just at least be hesitant. Like, this truly might be God's Messiah. I mean, if you start putting some of the pieces together, I think there's the literal, like if you look for Isaiah 2 to be literally fulfilled, then you're going to be on your side. But if you look for it to be symbolically to be fulfilled, you're going to be on my side. Same with Isaiah 11, you know? So there's a lot of things where it's like, I respect people's differences. And that's why I said I have Jewish people in my family. I don't try to convert them to Jesus every day, but I pray, God willing, they'll get there. But I don't know. For me, it's a different story because I didn't get my faith through reading the Bible, bro. Like I don't want to talk about it publicly too much because I've talked about it publicly before, but I knew Jesus was the Messiah. Jesus was God. The Father and the Holy Spirit are all God. You know, because the problem I can see and agree with you is when you're a Christian, sometimes you say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And it's like, what about the Father? You know what I mean? What about the Father? What about the guy Jesus was always talking about? You know what I mean? So I do think as Christians, because we start with Jesus and we don't start with the Father enough in like comments, like I just said there, I can understand where you put your guard up and get defensive. But a good Christian's never going to forget. He should just say triune God or something like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll continue to talk about these things, but I do think you got to chill a little with you're not. I don't think I know you're not doing yourself.
Come on, Ryan. Come on, bro. You guys,
you're not doing yourself any favors.
What, Ryan? You guys, but listen, you guys listen to this, and I'm saying this. What Christians do, you guys do this a lot. But you guys don't realize you guys are offending us when you guys say that Jesus is God, because we're like, okay, that's your God. But you guys say, no, that's your God. And we're like, bro, we're experts in our book. Like your God is not in there. So, and we don't have a problem with you guys saying Jesus is your God. But when you try to say that Jesus is my God, and I know who helped me and who brought me into my faith and made me who I am, it wasn't Jesus. When I hit my knees and I prayed and I stopped all the wickedness, I know who answered me, and it wasn't Jesus. So, you know, I grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? You know that already. My family were Christians. So, and I would always ask questions or whatever to our, you know, Reverend Banks, and he would just never answer me. So, you know, of course, I had to, like, you know, I started dabbling into other stuff because I couldn't get any answers from my pastor. So I realized, you know, I started dabbling into foolishness. You know, I'm talking like foolishness, like witchcraft, like, you know, wherever, like, you know, and other stuff, Rastafarianism, more science. You know, Nation of Islam, trying to find my way, trying to find God. And that was the wrong thing to do because demons got on me. So I'm not going to get into all that. But like I said, when I was about to, you know, I got to a point where I was like, about to end it all, you know, I was like, you know what? Let me like get on my knees, man. And whoever is the true God may answer me and, you know, whatever. And
let me just say,
reveal your name to me. And that was it.
Yeah. Well, listen, like I said, I believe the Father is God. I believe Jesus, the Father, and the Holy Spirit are God. I just think the only way to the Father is through Jesus. And I put this scripture on the screen not to put it towards you, but to put it towards me and everybody that identifies as a Christian. A lot of one West Hebrew Israelites, because none of us are going to get to God through the scripture alone. Like, we have to come to God through faith, through spirit, through love, through living. Like, so we can be the most expert person in the scriptures and know every word, every book, every meaning of the etymology of every word. But if you're not a decent person, or if you don't have faith in God, none of it matters at all. So this isn't for directed towards you. It's directed towards me, everybody. We all have to test ourselves on the standard of, like, the scriptures start to give us the truth of God, but then we got to go to the spirit and go beyond that, because it's not a battle of like who can exegete scriptures more. And that's why Christ said, like, I thank you, Father, for revealing these things to little children, but you kept them from the wise. You know what I mean? Like that in First Corinthians says, like, God, whatever, I'll paraphrase him, but he made the wisdom of this world look dumb, because the things of that man think are basically nothing to God, but God glorifies other things. You know what I mean? Like the opposite type of things. And that's just totally paraphrasing Corinthians there. But the point of the matter is that we all got to, like, just use the scriptures to get closer to God, because they're the best way for sure. But then we got to go beyond that too, and like feel what you felt when you prayed on your knees. You know what I mean? That's the true moments that make you a faithful believer. Those moments when you read the scriptures and you start crying because you realize God's with you as you're reading it. Like, you know what I mean? That's all I say.
No, I hear you. Moises said, ask Judah if he believes in the Messiah. Yes, I believe in all of our Messiahs, even the wicked ones we had. So when I say Messiah, I'm looking at it from a Torah, not a Christian, right? It's an office. You're either high priest or king, right? That's the in our book, that's the only way, unless you're like anointed with the Spirit, but that's not an office. You have the Nazarites. Their hair was symbolized like kind of like a crown. You know what I mean? That wouldn't call them messiahs, but you know what I mean? Like their hair was consecrated. But I mean, so you can kind of actually say that they're kind of like anointed ones. But someone said New Genesis Connection. She said not all are given to Jesus, and I agree with that. That's not, the Most High did not intend for me to be a Christian. He was like, I made it when I swore an oath to serve Him until my last breath. I'm held to that oath. I cannot, when you guys say like, oh, come to Jesus. No, you're trying to kill me. I'm like, no, because he requires what you swore an oath. And that's not, and if you guys come in with, oh, well, Jesus, that's not what he told me. Like, he told me, my name is Yahweh. There is no God other than me. Keep this book, because I'm going to give you this book. I'm going to make you powerful in it. No one's going to beat you in it. And this day, I'm known as one of the most, and it's not about patting myself on the back like Barry Horowitz and wrestling. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So I respect everyone's beliefs or whatever, but I think a lot of people like don't. And I know like the proselytizing, and I get it. It says to go out and convert. I get it, but you got to realize, like, Most High is. I'm not gonna get punished by the Most High. No, it's not. There's a point in time where I was. Oh, I know you're about to go. I'm sorry, because I'm about to.
I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just telling him that I'm going to get dinner before I head over to your stream. I can stay here for another whatever half hour. I could care less. I'm hearing you out. Go ahead.
Well, I'm about to hop off here because I got to do my PowerPoint thing, and it's already like 10:30 in the morning. And when I do debates and prepare, it takes a while.
Oh, dude, I put a long time. Trust me, people don't even. I know I put a lot of hours into that, highlighting the words and stuff. That because you got to read, you got to highlight, you got to do so much sort through. You got to move this slide there. You're thinking about. It's a lot, dude. So debates are a lot of work.
If you look at it, like the word art means skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so debating is an art or a skill, you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Because there's so many like, variables and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But, it says, well, we can all take the Nazarite vow, but now there's no temple left to fulfill now with the cutting of hair and sacrifices. But it has nothing to do with the temple. Your thing. It has to do with like, see well, I'm not going to get into that, but yeah. So yeah, I'm going to hop off because I don't have much time. I'm going to, go to my stream, but yeah, join if you guys want. I can't be on all day because I have to work on my
anybody watching, what just how do I type your name in just so it's just your name, right? Judah.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
show it on YouTube here. Let me just show it on so
Okay.
people come over because you've helped my channel grow. I appreciate, and we all should always help each other grow because if anybody trying to spread the word of God, even if it's in a different form at the time, at least they're on the right path spreading the word of God. We're all in the Bible, at least we're not that far
Let me
apart.
answer her. She said, if the Torah is the only way and not Jesus and Christianity, what happened to the temple? It got destroyed. Because people begin to think that sacrificing animals that literally like that just I did blah 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 blah. Let me just sacrifice a lamb. God will forgive me. And that was never the intention, because God did not say anything about sacrificing anything. He said, keep my 10 commandments. That the sacrificing animals and things or whatever is a teaching. It's I'm not going to get into that, but it's a teaching. God does not drink blood, as he says in Psalms. I don't drink blood. And if I was hungry, I wouldn't tell you anyways. So obviously there's something else to the dietary law, to the temple, all that. These things are pointing to something, and it's not Jesus. It's for the individual. That's why Ezekiel 43 says, Son of man, teach the children of Israel about the temple, that they may be ashamed of their their sins and their iniquities, right? And saying, hey, look, guys, look, the temple is such and such feet high, and look, it's made of stone, and that's not going to make anybody ashamed of their iniquity, like, because that's not what he's talking about. So the temple meant something, right? We know what it is. That's why we're the Torah Knights. So we're the temple tabernacle teaching based. That's our foundation. It's the Torah, actually.
Yeah, you're speaking of Ezekiel 45, 46-ish, 47-ish, right? Yeah, pretty much.
No, 43 and 10.
Okay, yeah, but Ezekiel, right?
Yeah. Well, just what he's saying, because it makes no sense he wasn't even in the land. He was like in Iraq or Chaldea or whatever. So that the temple is not talking about a physical place. It's something else deeper, because the Torah is very layered. So that's why you have to study the Torah. It's not the surface level is not going to convey. No, it's cool. There's nothing wrong with reading on the surface level, but it gets way deeper than that. So.
I know. That's why I love having anybody that knows the Hebrew, because the Hebrew is really key to getting to some of the deepest parts of it. Like just in that section you're speaking of in Ezekiel, he's taking them to a river, and you could cross the river. It's knee high, it's waist high, and then it gets to a point where no man can cross the river. That's totally a spiritual symbolism of like crossing over from flesh to spirit, and
yes,
all sorts of stuff there. You can go in all sorts of directions, and that's beautiful sections and stuff. But we agree on a lot, but we disagree on a lot, and we'll continue, God willing, to have conversations. We're not going to sort it all through today, and I don't expect to. So, but if you're doing a stream, everybody subscribe to Judah's channel. I just showed it right there on the screen, and just be aware. It's for adults, so if you hear a few words that you might hear when somebody hits their toe with a hammer, don't be surprised. But
well, you got to tell the part. A lot of it, some of it is trolling, and for show. So if you see me acting wild or whatever, don't think I walk around like that in real life. Like, bro, that's for show. Everyone knows that. They're like, that's just Judah being Judah. He doesn't.
I can tell you're a big wrestling fan. I was too growing up, but you take it even farther than me. Like I tell your fandom was like more than mine, but I used to love it as a kid, so I get it. Like you got that. I mean, you even have the name Judah Savage, Randy Savage type mode, and that's what you reminded me of sometimes. You get into character, dude. Like.
And I was a battle rapper too, so
yeah, like me and you only known each other a week or so, bro. But I think you're a real dude, and I hope you respect me in the similar manner.
Yeah,
and unspoken things mean as much as things spoken, and I understand where you're coming from a lot. Yeah. Clearly, we don't disagree on everything, biblically, but that's things we can talk about and get through. Try to learn from each other, see what's right, see what's wrong.
At least you stand, and one thing I'll come on. Of course, I respect. I wouldn't be over here if I didn't. But you stand on what you stand on, and that's what it's about. 10 toes down. You know what I mean? Chest out, chin up. Right? You know what I'm saying? You stand on what you believe, and so any man should respect that with anyone. Right? That's why I'm saying, like, these guys, and then they've been, before you guys came around, they were doing that to us, blocking us, deleting our comments. Kicking us off the panel when they get trapped. blah 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 blah, so forth and so on. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys are still doing this, and it's like, bro, like, just go back. They should just go back to church. I mean, it's like, that's why you see a lot of Hebrew Israelites leave, and they do go to Vocab Malone's channel because they go back to church. They which they should. If you're gonna teach the gospel, go to church. Don't try to make a new gospel. Don't try to make a new Jesus. Don't try to like change up Paul's doctrine. When he says he talks to Gentiles, he was talking to natural Gentiles. Don't try to make everybody an Israelite. That's foolishness. So yeah, so these guys don't stand. That's why they don't leave their chat. It's an echo chamber. So they don't leave their board. That GMS will tell you in a minute. We're not going to prove anything to anybody. Either you're going to listen to our doctrine or you're not. But you're gonna you followers, you're gonna pay money, and you're gonna be mind controlled because we're gonna keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. You're never gonna grow. Don't worry about elevating. Don't worry about that. Just listen to what we say. When you become disillusioned and you fall out of it, we're gonna blame you. We're not gonna blame ourselves. You know what I mean? For not teaching you anything. So
yeah, if you're not willing to die for this, like you're not faithful. You know, that's the bottom line. Like, you should be willing to die for God, and you know, it's easier said than done as far as like sacrificing and being disciplined and not doing certain things your whole life. That's a lot harder than just saying I'll die today for God. You know what I mean? Yeah. For me, at least, I could say I'll die today a lot easier than it is to live perfectly and sinless and perfect. You know what I mean? That's the real hard sacrifice. But you should be willing to die. If you're not willing to, like, if you're going to deny your God when somebody puts a gun to your head, and if you're in a foreign country and they worship some other pagan evil God, you should be willing to go at that moment and just have trust and faith that that's God's will and he'll protect you one way or the other. Either the gun will jam or you'll go to heaven, you know, either way. But yeah,
like Moises said, lukewarm.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Right? That's what it is. A Christian can say that. And then the Israelites can say that. We're looking from opposite spectrums. We're looking, these guys are in the middle, and we're like, you remember Elijah when he went to the prophets of Baal? How long will you halt between two opinions? Right? Like, well, you can't be both. Mm-hmm. At least Israel doctrine says, he's like, yo, that's why, like, I can't call him a Christian because he's gonna start flipping out and going crazy. But he's a Christian and he admits it. So, but he wants to separate himself from the body. And it's like, bro, that's what it was. Paul teaches there are many members, there is one body, Christ is the head, you know what I'm saying, of the church, right? God is the head of Christ, you know, right? He didn't say there are two bodies, he said there's one body and many members. So these guys are trying to like make a new body, you know, and you know what I mean? It's kind of like, bro, stop. Like, you that's why the Christians and the Israelites are looking at these guys crazy. Like, bro, like you guys are trying to like hop between two opinions. Pick one, bro. Go back to church.
Look at you. You'll definitely appreciate verse 16 because this is Jesus speaking, but the Hebrew and the "I will spit you out of my mouth," that idiom right there is so powerful. So this is Christ speaking to the churches in Revelation. I know your works; you are neither cold nor hot. Would that you were either cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm and neither hot nor cold, I will spit you out my mouth. So think about when you eat food and it's that bad that you're going to spit it out of your mouth. You know, you got that terrible bone or turkey or whatever it is. And that's such a powerful idiom by Christ there of believers that aren't true. I will spit you out of my mouth. So that's the type of feeling of God. Throughout Ezekiel, the whole, trust me, I love the Hebrew, man. I tried to learn the Hebrew. Hopefully you can help me a little with that, but I've tried, but I've only tried to be self-taught, and I haven't put a great effort in. You know, I haven't done my best yet. So I'm going to try to get back towards it. Hopefully, you guys can help me get because I love the Hebrew. I love the fact one word's got like two different meanings, and you can separate things like that. It's a beautiful language. You know, it's just tough. Like the symbols are just hard for me. The symbols are hard.
They are, and the Aramaic is too. You know, remember we know that too, so we can read that. The Aramaic and now I'm trying to move on to like Arabic, man. That's difficult. You know Arabic, what I mean? But maybe that's the Most High's will that I don't learn Arabic or whatever because I'm not Muslim, right? He'll, the Most High will put a block up if he doesn't intend for you to go that way. So I have an Arabic book. It's just hard as heck to like. I'm like, bro, like where does this A go? Like A, the letter A, I don't want to, it is what it is. Like maybe it's not the Most High's will that I learn Arabic. Maybe this is what it is. I don't know.
That's
But let me hop
Semitic
off of here.
also too, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Say it again?
Arabic Semitic also though, right? So it's somewhat like familiar or no?
Yeah, this like a sister tongue. Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just because I know Japanese, right? I can there's a certain script I know, and then the quote unquote Hebrew, Aramaic.
That's
but
impressive. That's a lot. That's really impressive. I was gonna swear right there. That's impressive, man. That's impressive.
I used to know Latin too. I took Latin class, so there's a lot of times you'll see me like the Latin will come back to me. And you'll see me like reading it and understanding. But it's been like I was in high school, so I kind of like forgot a lot of it because I don't put it to use. So linguistics is like, and I have Ethiopic, which all that. I have the cuneiform, from Akkadian. I'm like a serious nerd when it comes to this kind of stuff, whatever. So, what I mean? So
yeah, it's cool stuff, man. It's cool to like not have to rely on a translator. You know what I mean? Because translators put their own doctrines into stuff. That's just human nature. You know what I mean? That's why the Bible has to have all these people with different doctrines to try. But it's still like you're getting you're the third guy in the connect. You know what I mean? You're getting it doesn't weigh the same thing as it did when it started. But. Anyways, I won't go down that route. That's the old me. Anyways, but yeah. To everybody watching, subscribe to Judah's channel. And Judah, I gotta just go get some food because I slept late. My hours are messed up as usual. But if you're going live now, if you want me to swing by, I may. I mean, I don't know. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm not going to be on long. I'm just going to be like, because I talk to you and stuff, whatever, and you're a Christian and stuff, you know what I mean? So from my perspective, again, I ain't trying to be redundant, but from my perspective, it's kind of like what Jesus said in Revelation. Bro, you guys seem like lukewarm. Like, just say that this is a business. That's all I'm saying. Like because you're offending us over here who really believe in the Most High.
You're talking about the One West guys, just for clarity, right? For people listening.
No, like Zion Lex and them too. These guys who study Kabbalah and all that, whatever. We're looking at them like, yo, my dude, like, what are you talking? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like don't
Divine Prospect, dude. He's got crazy Patreon. I was watching the channel for 5 minutes today, and everything's on the Patreon. Everything's on the Patreon. It's like, dude, you can't just give people stuff, like some stuff, like everything's on the Patreon. Like he's foul with that. Like I ain't
don't believe that. Listen, these guys, like people that you named, they've seen me on YouTube since. You will never see a video. You will never see a conversation or anything where Judah Naz or any of our people like associated with them. Even when we're all on HOK, you'll notice there's a line. You saw one time me and Tazariot come over that one time only because his name was in the title because he was intimidated by you. Other than that, you wouldn't even think that we're even the same people. Like literally, like Christians. Like I was over here one time. You had a Catholic over here. You had a Hebrew roots Christian over here. You have you're Protestant. You had Israelite Christian, and you have Orthodox Moor is like Muslim, but he's like Israelite Muslim. Right. Yeah. I'm not sure what Moore can speak for himself. I don't know.
Yeah. He's got a lot going on. You can't box him in. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak for him, but everybody's over here, and you know what I mean, and we're all like, and and it is. But you guys are still it's still congregating together, and you guys have some disagreements, but you guys have a fundamental agreement, and that you guys are unified on. But with us, you wouldn't think that we're even the same people. You are not going to see. Listen. In other words, let's put it this way: if I needed $5, if I was hungry, and I needed $5 to get McDonald's, I don't eat McDonald's all like that, or I don't eat McDonald's really at all because it's disgusting. But and it's bad for your body. But if I needed $5 or whatever, they wouldn't give it to me. They don't even But they'll read the Torah where it says, "Thou shalt not hate your brother in your heart," and they totally disregard. I don't hate them. I just realized what it was. Like people were like, "Judah, man, why are you trying to be like more brotherly to whatever?" I'm like, okay, I reached out to them or whatever, but they still look at us as the enemy. So you'll see when I go at them, I talk to them like if they were on fire, I wouldn't urinate on them because those are the enemy. They're the enemies of my God. They make money off the word of by God. You know what I mean? They try to use the Torah to justify their witchcraft because Kabbalah is nothing but witchcraft, right? It's from Hinduism. So and I look at them, I'm like, bro. Then they come over. There's a guy that's in that, it's offensive. It's offensive. I can see where you guys see it's offensive to you guys, and it's offensive to us. These guys are trying to straddle the fence, and they need to pick a side or just tell the people that it's about money. At the end of the day, you really don't believe in whatever. It's about money. But let me
Yeah.
hop off here, Ryan. I don't have
Yeah.
much time. So if you can't hop on, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no. I probably won't. I'll probably just watch because I'm gonna go get food. This is the only thing you probably already had this one in your repertoire, but I always use this whenever people try to use money from the Old Testament. Obviously, the New Testament's got Jesus speaking plenty of times on it too. But Micah 3:11 is beautiful, and the translations differ. So heads is judges. So it's heads give judgment for a bribe. It's priests teach for a price. Its prophets practice divination for money, yet they lean on the Lord and say, is not the Lord in the midst of us? No disaster shall come upon us. I'm sure in Hebrew this is way more beautiful. You know what I mean? Because it's just magnifying the people that are taking the word of God and using it as a business. Micah 3:11. But yeah, I'll watch a little bit of your show, and I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, 10 o'clock for the debate. I'll do the StreamYard like moderator thing later.
Wait, we need to if you can, we need to try to work it out first before the debate, because we don't want to like be trying to figure it out during the debate.
No, I know. I just tried to do it right now, but I can't do it because I'm streaming live. Because I tried to do it right as, like I said, the only thing was, you know how you hit something and it sends you a code, and usually on your phone you can see the code at the same time it sends it to your email. I couldn't do that because every time I check my email, then I'd have to get a new code. So I just got to do it at the same time with my laptop, check my email on my laptop, and then do it on my phone. I'll do it right after the show, right after I get food and stuff.
Well,
All
I
right?
mean, but don't we need to cooperate when you do this? Like, so we know that it works on our end, because we still have. I mean, she checked the StreamYard. We still have our StreamYard.
I've never done what you're doing. You're just trying to make me a moderator. I don't even really need to be a moderator, bro. I mean, it's not that serious.
No, you do, because we can't. You saw how it gets. He doesn't stop. So we need somebody to mute, right? We need somebody who has us. What it does is it allows you to mute and to share.
I hear you. I know what you're saying. I got to be able to share your guys' screen. That's the main thing I need to be able to do. Yeah, you're right on that.
And if you can't, I'll do that. But
yeah, you could always do it, dude. You know what I mean? I mean, honestly, I'm really there to just like sort of be a mediator somewhat, but I'm really not trying to. But I'll set up the moderator thing. You know, I got to actually take a leak right now too. So
all right. But listen, but you need to have your finger on that mute when it's time. When it's like, I'm not,
dude. I'm not trying to mute him too much. So you know, if I mute him one time, he's gonna be hitting me with all the, you're this.
No, Ryan, you have to, because during my round, you can't be talking during my round.
Oh no, I'm not gonna let him talk during your round, bro. Never that.
I'd never unmute and start blabbing off during people's round.
I gotta take a leak for real. So I'm gonna listen to your channel. But thanks for watching, everybody. God bless, and I'll talk to you later on Facebook or something.
All right, take care of you
guys.
guys.
On Facebook or something later. I'll hit you. All right, peace.
All right.